Well, let's see now. Syria for today, and probably every single one of you heard about this country called Syria. It's where pretty much the war is happening, and from the last, I don't know, a decade, maybe more. I don't remember exactly when it started. It's a civil war. You kind of find news, find pretty much every time, especially like I said from 10 years ago, when you open the TV, you're gonna heard something about this country. Now, Syria, as you can see here, is one of those Middle East countries, and they have as a neighbors Turkey in the north, in the east Iraq, in the south Jordan, in the west Lebanon, and also if I zoom correctly on this map, they have also Israel. But you can see those territories are pretty much disputed. As always, when you have a territory that is not fully yours and is not recognized officially, Google doesn't give you that red line, so I can actually see exactly where the border are from the countries. That's going to be a problem later when we're going to check how those people live, but for now we're going to look at the population. 25 million people, and you can see they pretty much shut up constantly. Now the growing rate, yeah, it's pretty much all over the place, but they kind of back up from where it starts, and probably it's gonna maintain on that position. But look at this: 1955, 4 million people, growing rate 2.32. That would roughly translate in 87,000 people. Migration 0, but I don't think so. Median age 18, which is good. Fertility rate, again, one of those insane numbers, 7.6, and the urban population around 33%. Now in 2025, that shot up to 25 million. That will means still a much more increase in yearly change at 3.8%. Yearly change is going to translate roughly almost a million new people coming in this country from native population and also from migration. They have probably a lot of migration coming back because from now I understand now the war is kind of over. We're gonna see how that much is gonna last, how long it's gonna last. Migration around 500,000 almost. Median age 23 years old, so it's not that much. The fertility rate dropped significantly from 7.6 to 2.7, which is a huge decrease, but still above the replacement rate. For them, that number is not that bad, I always say, but the problem is 25 million people in such a small place, and you're gonna look at the economy, it doesn't do that well. It's gonna be some problems. Urban population 53%. Now in the future, in 2050, population is still going up. They're gonna reach around 37 million people. The yearly change is gonna go down under 1%. That will translate in roughly 305,000 people, and migration is gonna stabilize, they say, once the population come back. The one who actually want to come back, the migration is gonna, let's say, around 10,000 people, let's call it like that. And the median age is gonna go to 32 years old. Fertility rate still above replacement at 2.06, 2.1, which is pretty good for them, but again, huge population. The country is not that small. You can see here it's pretty big, but it's pretty much in a almost I would say in a desert, but they have some other few features here that we're gonna look at, but not that great, I would say. Now, life expectancy for both, even if it was a war, keep in mind, from both sexes is 73 years old, female 75, male 70, so pretty high. Yeah, we have here a huge dip in 2015, but still pretty good. Infant mortality rate 14.3 and death under age of 5 19.8. Those are huge numbers, but keep in mind that it's a war there, so yeah, it's kind of hard to judge by that, but still the medical system needs a lot of funding, I would say. The pyramid looks pretty much solid, very sharp. You have some male surplus until the age of 2022, then they go into female surplus, which is clearly, when you have a war, a lot of those young men are gonna die much sooner than they should, but it is what it is. And you can see in this pyramid exactly how that is spread around. Now the economic area, well, not that great, I have to say. The growth rate is 1.4, which is, I would say, it's good because it's a growth, but still very small. GDP per capita 6,000, which is not that bad actually. Keep in mind that we check the other country in already forgot how they call it. Lebanon, yeah. And they are not doing much better, even actually I think it's 4,000 for them, so it's much less, and they don't have that big of a population also. So 22 billion is a nominal, and PPP around 57 billion. Not huge numbers, especially for a, I would say, a pretty big population. It's not that small, but we're gonna see how they're gonna deal with that in the future. That's not that much interesting for me. The temperature here right now, you can see, is pretty much pleasant. I would say 15, a bit colder in my opinion, but in some part of the country they go up to 21, 25, 22, which is still better. And now history is pretty good with them. I mean, they have a lot of history in this region of the world, as you can see here. So clearly one of those old civilization permanently, let's say. And we're gonna see exactly, hopefully, when all those nonsense with war stops. Probably gonna see a shoot up. Most of the countries, when they, I would say, they their wars stops, you're gonna see a much more improvement, especially if you have a good government. You can do a lot of great things. Now the main event, I can say, we don't have exactly the red line, so you can actually see the borders. I'm gonna look at this one, which is not gonna be that pleasant, but it is what it is, I guess. And let's start from somewhere. Let's hope we're gonna see as much those 360 as we can, but I highly doubt that. Yeah, again, war countries, don't expect much. I don't. This is from 2023, so pretty recently. I like they have some green, especially here in the north. That's what I say. They're most of the desert, but they have some green portion of the country, which is nice, especially here in the north. That give them some opportunities, especially in agriculture and also in tourism and how people live. But oh, they have some birds here, which is nice. You can see the housing. It's, yeah, I don't know if you can call it housing, but gets the job done, I would say. But even with this poverty here, in this is 2018, those 360 looking amazing. So people just stay here, enjoying a meal or a drink, whatever. Yeah, there's a lot to improve here. I mean, just pretty much it's Stone Age to me. But here from the satellite, clearly they have some improvements, hopefully. But not with huge high hopes. I would say that some things are changing that dramatically well. So they're gonna take a lot of time. Yeah, it's a workshop from some guy here. Yeah, probably if you know how to use those tools, you're gonna make a decent living there, hopefully. Let me show that not going outside the border. Yeah, I don't expect street views that much. I expect just a few those 360 to actually have an idea. Yeah, it is what it is. We are here to just to look how those people live right now, and this is 2023. Country at war. Probably you'll be happy just having running water, heat if it's necessary, electric power, food, water, clean water, and that's kind of it. And just as much security as you can, because like I say, it's a war, ongoing war. Otherwise, they stop with the tarmac right there. This one looks like a brand new highway, which is look pretty good actually. We don't have that much info from that position, but doesn't look that bad. Now we have here on the river, clearly they have some much more, let's say, civilization close together here, more community, much towns. The city is a bit too much to call it, but yeah, if it's something that bothers me, it doesn't matter how bad is the country. It's garbage. That's, if a bomb just exploded there, I kind of get it. But if you live like that in that garbage, yeah, for me it's a, let's say, a deal breaker. Otherwise, look, if you live like this, let's say it's pretty clean, you don't have garbage around, I kind of get it. Yeah, there are poor people, they don't have, let's say, concrete or tarmac here to put, but they are clean. They are living in clean condition. Even if it's dirt road or stuff like that, they're still in a nice Where did that disappear? I guess we can check it. They're living at least in a clean environment, which is actually more important. As here, look at this. It's clean. Okay, I have no idea why they're using this. I don't think it's a testing for the driver's license, but it could be. I can read those, but it looks like a polygon, whatever they call it there, for taking your driver's license. I'm not sure in those countries, like I say already, in Europe it's extremely hard to get one of those driver's license, and probably in the Western world also, but in Europe it's specifically harder. In those countries, maybe it's easier, I guess. I hope, at least. Green stuff here, which is interesting. In Aleppo here, well, we're supposed to see some, I want to say bombing and stuff like that, but you should go directly to a cemetery. Yeah, look at this. You're supposed to see buildings like this. Keep in mind, it is a war here. I'm not sure if totally completely stopped, but still a war. It does look extremely macabre, creepy here, but I guess it is what it is. Those images I expected to see clearly outside those main towns. Probably it's a bit better, especially there in the north, but in those towns, when they bomb heavily, you're gonna see stuff like that. This building actually looked pretty nice. Look, see, when you make an apartment building, this is exactly how I imagine. A nice front door, you have a first level, then a second, and the third at the, let's say, at the highest. Don't go above that. This is how exactly an apartment building should look, exactly like this. This is actually very nice. The first apartment building, and I find it in Syria, in Aleppo. It's the first apartment building that actually I would like to live at some point. But still, I prefer, like I say, an individual house. I'm not backing down from that. Here, not sure. Yeah, those apartments, look at this, the difference. This is look much horrible than that building. A bit of garbage here, which I don't like it, but again, it's a war zone. Oh, we have something interesting here. Oh, it's on the hill. Probably one of those oldest remain of the civilization, which is nice. Hopefully they didn't bomb this, but it looks like this area it's a bit safe. What year is this? 2020, so right in the pandemic here. Yeah, hopefully didn't affect nothing from here. Maybe I spoke too soon. It looks like somebody just hit this wall here. Yeah, it feels like the bomb just dropped here. I don't think they keep those things like that. And here, yeah, look at this. Clearly they bombed this, and this is 2017. So they have heavy bombing here. Look at it. Again, these war zones in this part of the world, it's pretty common. It is what it is. This one, let's. Those big doors, big fences. Not a big fan. The road doesn't look that great, but again, it's a war zone. Otherwise, yeah, not much to say. They have an airport here, which is pretty nice, and it's actually looking pretty big. What else can we see? Let's check this one. They have a lot of population. Like I said, it's going up pretty fast, especially from 4 million to 25 millions. Like I always say, when you have things like this happening to your country and you see a very rapid population growth, and the economic system cannot sustain that, usually it ends up in a war, and that's the first time. If you want to leave your country, I would say poor countries with a lot of people, especially a lot of young people, they usually start wars when they don't have much in their lives. So yeah, that would be a pretty good indicative. Those are new buildings. I'm not sure why they're building like this, but probably just from the refugees, I guess. but doesn't look that well, especially those apartment buildings. Oh, they have solar panel, which is, yeah, they modernized it, but again, the architecture, not that great. But who knows, maybe they actually make it better. This one looks a bit better. Green on the horizon, they have some plantation here, so clearly, see, when you think of the country at war, you think every single square meter of that country is gonna be bombed or 100% and it's nothing left of them, but clearly it's not exactly the case. You can still have bombing in one place of the country and growing businesses elsewhere like nothing happened, almost like it happened, which is a bit strange even for me, but it is what it is. I believe with a good government and a good economy, build a good economy and with not that much population, that's the main key that I keep mentioning in my video, the main key, not that much population. You can build a great country, whatever you are, doesn't matter. Yes, we need some resources, we need some collaboration with other countries and all that stuff, but I still believe you can make a great country with that, those few things, those recipes. But the main one, I would say, try to keep a low population. When you have so many people, it's not just about the numbers, it's pretty much as trying to, you know what, it's like trying to make a vacation with one of two friends, which is going to be probably great, and then try to make a vacation with 10 friends all at once. I can guarantee it's going to be a disaster. So yeah, this is probably the same way I think with population, in my opinion. It can be too few of you also, but if you are too many, now you're running in troubles. Okay, see. But again, this is my opinion. That's why I still believe in a lot of European countries. Hopefully we are still in Syria there. When you see dropping in population in those, especially in the Eastern European countries, if they have a good government at some point. Oh, this is pretty nice here. We are still in Syria? I'm not sure. It looks pretty nice. You're gonna experience a rapid growth and especially a rapid efficiency in the economics, and that should translate in a better standard of living. But again, the main key after you you have a lower population is to and a young one actually can work also, especially a modern one, when even people that are not that young, especially going to be in the future. Right now I don't think we have any examples. They are still willing to work and not retire at as fast as possible. When you have that lower population, that's the base in my opinion, and then you have to have a good government, and then the government has to collaborate with your neighbors, with pretty much anyone can strike a deal to improve the condition and being actually for the people and for themselves also. Again, they are part of the, this is a lot of garbage, I don't like it here. They are part of the population too, even those people in the government. But usually they do well for themselves, and then let's say fuck anyone else. But they are part of the population. If the population doing well, they're gonna do well too. But usually they do well and the population doesn't do well because there is no mechanism to actually take look at these people, take how can I say this, take some action against the government on the how to say, a non-violence way, because you can see here if they don't have, usually we don't, when things go that bad and there is no mechanism to actually not even voting it doesn't do that much. Oh, this one is actually pretty nice. Wow, I like this station wagon. Yeah, but this is a mosque? I don't think so. No, it's a Christian church here, most likely. Yeah, pretty nice, pretty nice. Oh, look at this architecture. It's actually nice. Yeah, we don't have exactly a mechanism to, like I say, we have the right now with in America the government efficiency, but it's a step forward. It's good, but we don't know exactly how that is gonna play. We have that camp that we saw. Yeah, we saw in the Jordan video. We don't know exactly how it's gonna play, because you have to keep accountable. The government, usually they find ways to not be accountable, especially the people who was in power and who take decision. Those are actually good roads here. Ooh, that's nice. And that I hope to have move away from those protest way when things not going well, and actually take a rapid action to just replace those people who are doing bad decision, and they are not they have other interest than helping the people and also themselves. Again, I say, you are part of the population. You will do well too, not just the rest of the world, the rest of the country. Which, like I say, it's like a good versus a bad architecture. If you have a bad architecture in your city, but you still have to travel in your city to just go to work, even if you're doing very well for yourself, you're not gonna have a well opinion about the place you live. But if you let's say have a working ethic, I don't know how to call it, to actually improve everything, every single one of the people life or citizen life, those things, you're gonna have greater architecture, greater roads, lower crime, and all that stuff. And like I say, you can pretty much, with a good government, with a good population and a good relation, you can build that pretty much everywhere. But with human greed, phew, good luck with that. Yeah, it looks like a country that is stuck 150 years ago in time in some areas. Others, they're looking pretty good. Others that really look very nice. Hopefully, who knows, with the new government, they're gonna actually improve the life for everyone. But like I say, the main problem is that look at this. That's a nice architecture building. That's great. With I have no. They say center, Mazech. I have no idea what they say here. With that it is pretty rapidly. Let's say it is rapidly, yes. Growing population. I don't know any government. It doesn't matter. Like I say, it could be U.S. government, it could be European. It doesn't matter. I don't know anyone could actually have a solution to improve everyone's life that fast in their lifetime. So yeah, it's even in that point, it's kind of hard to take anyone accountable. But look at this. From above, this city look horrible. The buildings are not that well. Very few green things there. A lot of garbage here, and those garbage you cannot blame the government. They're probably just tourists or whoever passes this area and just throw them there on the side because they see someone else doing it and they think it's okay. That is the people to blame. And like I said, when you have too many people and you have just a few of them doing stuff like that, a lot of them they will follow. But when you have less of that, and pretty much, especially in the small towns when everybody knows each other, it's kind of hard to do one of those things because you're gonna be accountable for anything there. They have their goods and bads in these small towns. Now, what can I say? Syria is if I give him a note from 1 to 10, it's gonna be right now a 2. Again, country at war. It's not much you can do there right now. But who knows? Maybe in the future, if the peace is gonna last, they could make great things. But right now, yeah, it's look at this. What can you do with things like this? It doesn't look that great. And with all that war that they have, the population still grows, except to 2015 when a lot of them just pretty much left the country. But the population still grow every single year. Even with that many people leaving the country, they still have a lot of people. Yeah, that I cannot understand. It's above my powers to knowing that you have a war in your country and bomb flying over your head and you still make kids. For me, I will never understand that, but maybe it's just me. Overall, I would say pretty nice country from the historic point. Some very nice, good area, but also a lot of work there, and I have no idea. It's someone is gonna be able to fix something. Okay, this is how they look, pretty much horrible. Somebody's gonna be able to fix something that fast, so people actually can feel it and sustain the process. Especially that's the main problem I'm saying, is that we're gonna have a lot of young people that's gonna feel that country doesn't go anywhere. The population is still growing, the resources are even more scarce, and usually that just meaning this is how those people live in tents, which is fucked up. Usually that means country falls back in the war. A lot of other people think they can do a better job than let's say the government that's in power, but usually they only try to have a change in power from their benefits and not having any idea how actually they could make it better for everyone else. And they have some conditions that nobody, like I said, nobody has a solution, and the main one, it's a growing population. When you have a growing population, it's hard to know where it's gonna land. The population that you have, how it's gonna be in the future. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I say also. If you have a stable population or a slow decline population at some point, but you have a clear improvement in technology in your country, usually that's a good recipe in my opinion. And we saw, like I said, in the Eastern European countries, even the Western European countries, because of migration there, I would say, and they try to keep the wages low as possible, they will not have such a great growth as the Eastern one in the future. For those countries that are at war right now, exactly like Syria, the only way I can see them moving on the better path is just people actually acknowledge that having more kids right now is not going to be good for anyone, and most likely in a few years, if this trend continues, the war is going to start again. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, that was the video. If you live in those countries and watch my video, which I highly doubt that, just leave a comment and say how exactly things are going there, and how do you see with the new government or whatever's happening there, how do you see the future of Syria?